Welcome back. We are looking at the world's most admired companies. Korn, Ferry, and Fortune releasing the 2025 list, which ranks these companies on financial stability, innovation, leadership, and expansion. Coming in at number 1, Apple, followed by Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, and Berkshire Hathaway. Rounding out the top 10, Costco, JP Morgan, Walmart, Alphabet, and American Express. Joining us now to talk more about it and break this story is Korn Ferry Vice Chairman and CEO, Alan Guarino. Alan, great to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for being here. Tell us about these companies, what they have in common. What gives a company staying power on that list?
Well, what gives a company staying power on the list is just continued great leadership. The beauty of this list is you can't game it. 600 companies make up the universe. Fortune does that. Over 10,000 executives around the world are polled. And so it is what it is. You're getting the opinion of these executives, some in your peer group, if you're in a particular industry, and others across the board looking for the all-star list. So the fact of the matter is that we saw, I think, 8 or 9 companies in the industry list move up to number 1. So some moved down. At the end of the day, operating well, hitting those key measurables around attracting talent, quality management, use of resources. And then you're at the mercy of the executives around the world who are watching you and giving their opinion of how you're doing.
Well, I think it's really fascinating that this list has evolved so much toward tech. I mean, look at the top names on the list. It's all tech. Yeah. So it's a sign of the times because tech is so important in our economy. But why aren't more traditional names up there if you're the world's most admired companies list?
Yeah, so I'd be speculating, but I think it's natural selection. It's Adam Smith. Tech is part of every element of our day. Right?
Yeah.
We don't wake up in the morning thinking deeply about retail. Retail's important, but the fact of the matter is tech drives everything. And so I think it's kind of logical that tech would dominate top of mind when executives are talking about companies they admire.
Are companies doing anything differently in now Trump's second term in office? How are people adjusting and adapting?
So, I tell people all the time, CEOs are on treadmills. And by the way, treadmills run at different paces. New administration comes in, the treadmill speeds up. And by the way, with massive executive orders, changing things, taking things away, introducing new concepts, CEOs today basically have SWAT teams looking at all of this quick action, figuring out where are the opportunities, where are the threats, and then how are they going to take advantage of it. So honestly, exciting. It's kind of like going to a sports game. At the beginning of the season, they're interesting. When you get to the end of the season, things get frenetic, the stakes get higher. Well, guess what? This isn't the end of the season. It's the start of a new presidential administration. Massive change, exciting in terms of where are the opportunities, where are the threats, and this administration's moved quickly, so there's a lot for CEOs to digest. I think they're at a very high RPM on that treadmill.
Sure.
I want to pick up, Maria, on his point about Adam Smith's invisible hand because all of the tech companies are in the top 10. I just want to say this. I think that we've seen something with this deep seek this week and, AI. It lets us know that anytime there's a new frontier of technology, there is usually some kind of irrational exuberance before it's monetized at scale. And these are the kinds of things that are going to happen until it's monetized at scale, Alan, that investors are going to have to experience. And sometimes it's going to be painful. So investors have to understand this is a new frontier. There's irrational exuberance, and there's got to be scalability. And until we get to monetization with scale, these things are going to happen where we get surprised. Oh, China can do it cheaper? Oh, crap. What are we going to do?
No, absolutely. No question about it. I'm old enough.
Does everything cheaper, right?
I'm old enough to think back to 1996 when there was this thing called the internet and email. And
exactly.
many people were getting them printed out and reading them, having
mail?
their admin answer the email, right? That took a while, but when adoption happens, it changes things big time.
And are you seeing that in your business? Tell us about your business and recruitment right now for jobs. What's in demand?
Oh, gosh. Well, we mirror the economy, right? So, healthcare, human services. By the way, government was tops in the last quarter. Given the way government's moving, that may change. At the end of the day, things are good. And I would say that last year was an average year for growth. We were digesting a lot of post-COVID exuberance.
Right.
And I'm very optimistic about the job market over the next couple of years. Politics aside, just where where we settled, and I think where opportunity comes from. Maria, I have to correct you just on one thing.
Yes.
My title is Vice Chairman of the Board and CEO practice, not CEO.
Oh, okay, great. Well, we wanted to give you a promotion.
Exactly.
That's okay.
I'm sorry
that job's
about that.
too hard for me.
My apologies, and thank you for the correction. Alan, it's good to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Alan
me.
Guarino. We'll be right back. Stay with us.